A changelog records change requests and their progress through approval and implementation. So how can you create one for your projects? As with many project management tools, lots of project management software has change control tools built in. But some don't. And not everyone who is managing projects has access to tools that do. So, if you want to build your own, and it's pretty easy to do, then how do you go about it? The answer, as is often the case, starts with a spreadsheet. I use Excel, but there are plenty of alternatives. I start with 2 tabs, one for notes and one for the changelog itself. Let's start with the main tab that contains our changelog. It's a table that I've divided into 3 sections. The first covers basic information. The second covers the governance process for the change requests. And the third covers the implementation process once a change request has been approved. Let's start with the basic information, and there's not a lot that we need to cover here. The first column contains a unique ID for every change request, and this is important to make sure that you have a strong audit trail. The second column of My Change Request table contains a description of the change that's required. You might prefer to have 2 separate columns here, one for a short form title for the change request and another for a longer description. So when you create your own, make it work for you. The next section covers the change control process. The change control process covers the governance and the audit trail for considering and either approving or rejecting requests for change. First, we create a record of the proposer or the proposers of the change to make sure that we know who to go back to for any clarification. If it helps you to create a set of categories for the types of change request, then this is what I would do next. And you can create drop-down entry from a list on another sheet. I've put mine on the first sheet, the introductory tab, although you might want to have a separate sheet. Likewise, you may want to allocate priorities for your change requests. Here I've gone for a very simple approach of low, medium and high with drop-downs and colour-coded. However, when I do my own change logs, I don't include a priority because I prefer not to prejudice the decision process. So it's up to you if you want one. Next, dates help to create a robust audit trail. Here is the submission date, and further along you can also find a review date and an approval or rejection date. We also record the name of the reviewer. This is the member of your project team who will review the request for change and respond to it to give the decision makers all the information they need to make a proper decision. We also record the name of the person who will authorise or reject the request for change. Finally, the approval status can either be approved, rejected, or deferred. It's important to note that deferral will create delays which could potentially increase the cost of making the change. So there is only one good reason why an approver may choose to defer their decision. And that reason is that they don't have enough information to make an informed decision. Therefore, it's down to you, the project manager, if this happens. You haven't properly foreseen the information they're going to need. Or, worse, you have foreseen it, but have failed to provide it. The final section covers implementation of approved changes. You could obviously go to town on progress tracking, Or you might decide that you don't need it at all on this change log because you're going to track it elsewhere. Here, I've trod a middle ground. I've given you an indication of the kind of progress tracking columns that you might use without making it burdensome. I've included who the work is assigned to, key dates for when it's assigned, when the work begins, a target completion date, and an actual completion date. I've also given a column that will allow users to include a current implementation status. There's also an introduction tab in my spreadsheet. This allows me to include any notes that I want to create for the user. I've also used this tab to contain the lists that will power the drop-downs. However, you may want to put this in a separate tab to make sure that users are less likely to accidentally change them. But this is a simple spreadsheet, and I didn't want to overburden it with too many tabs. A change control log is a powerful governance tool that allows you to track all the changes that you've made, so that if the auditor comes around and says, "Why have you spent more money than you planned to? Why did it take longer to deliver than you planned for it to take?" you can point them at your changelog and show them not only all the changes that were requested, but show that each one was properly approved by an authorized person. It's easy to create a changelog, but if you don't want to go to the trouble, then of course this changelog is part of my package of project management templates, with over 60 templates that you can use and adapt to your own projects. But if you do decide to create one, it shouldn't take you very long and doesn't require advanced spreadsheet skills. If you're anticipating change, then make sure you have one today. Please do give this video a like if you've learned from it or enjoyed it. I'll be making loads more great project management videos for you, so please do subscribe to the channel and hit the notification bell so you don't miss any of them. And I'll look forward to seeing you in the next one.